These types of questions are always on your final exam. Make sure you're comfortable working with them. The first thing you should notice in question 1 is that our angle measures are not the same. But we remember that cosine is periodic. It repeats every 360. 400 is equal to 360 plus 40. Secant is, of course, the reciprocal of cosine. The periodic property says we can ignore going around the circle. So we have the cosine of 40 degrees times the reciprocal of cosine 40 degrees is equals 1. Let's do a question with radians together. First of all, we note the negative sign here. And we remember that sine is an odd function, and so the negative can move outside of the function. We know that cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. And we want to get rid of the 360 degrees or the 2 pi radians. Now, how do I know that it's 2 pi plus pi over 12? Let's talk about that. 25 pi over 12 is equal to 2 pi plus pi over 12. Well, first of all, if I want to write this as a fraction over 12, I'd need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 12. That gives me 24 over 12. over 12 is my 2 pi radians. 24 plus 1 equals 25. Make sure you can do that fraction work in order to be able to answer these types of questions. Again, we can ignore going around the circle. So we have the negative sine pi by 12 times the reciprocal of sine pi by 12. This equals -1. Try questions 3 and 4. In question 3, we remember that tangent is periodic every 180 degrees. Once we ignore that 180 degrees, we see we have tangent of 20 degrees times its reciprocal. This equals 1. In question 4, secant is the reciprocal of cosine, and we can ignore this negative sign because secant and cosine are both even. We also know that we can ignore the 2 pi radians going around the circle. And so we have the reciprocal of cosine pi by 18 times cosine pi by 18. And again, it's equal to 1. These two look like really good exam questions. I'm going to do question 5 with you and let you do question 6. None of the angles are the same. So the first thing we want to do, I would say, is deal with the negative signs. I know we can ignore that negative sign because cosine is even. And this negative sign needs to get moved out because tangent is odd. So we have the sine of 800 degrees over the cosine of 440 degrees minus the tangent of 260 degrees. Now, sine and cosine both repeat every 360 degrees. So if I do 360 degrees times 2, that's 720 plus 80. Cosine 360 degrees plus 80 gives me 440. Tangent repeats every 180 degrees. 180 plus 80 equals 260. So we can ignore the half circle or the full circles. Sine over cosine is tangent of 80 degrees minus the tangent of 80 degrees, which equals 0. Watch that again if you need to, and then try question 6. Let's see how you've done so far. Cotangent is odd, so we took the negative outside. Cosine is even, so we're able to ignore that negative sign. Cotangent, like tangent, is periodic every 1 pi radian. 5 over 5 is equal to 1, so we can ignore that. Cosine and sine are periodic every 2 pi radians. 10 over 5 is equal to 2 pi, so we are able to ignore going around the circle. We have negative cotangent of 2 pi over 5 radians plus, now that our angles are the same, cosine over sine is cotangent of 2 pi over 5. This equals 0. Make sure you can follow the steps and recreate them on your own. Check in your e-text for further examples.